In this last question, we are looking at a capital gains tax question. The question tells you to start with how much you get, how much it costs you to buy the shares. You've got to work out how much you get when you sell them. So $4.98 is the selling price. You had 1,000 of them, and the GST and brokerage is a flat $19.95. Make sure that you subtract 4,980, take 19.95, gives you $4,960.05. Now to work out your gain, you just take away what you bought them for, which you were given in what you sold them for, sorry. Take away what you've bought them for, which is given in the question. So you made $1,400, which is pretty cool. So you've got that much money to kind of play around with. Now what you need to do is work out his capital gains tax on that return. So you do that by grabbing the answer from before, which is how much money he has got from the sale of the shares, the capital gain, which is $1,400.10. Noticing that there's no discount rule because he sold them after 10 months. So no discount rule applies, so he's got to pay tax on the whole lot. So it's $1,410 times by 0.3, which gives you $420.03. So if his after-tax return has got to be this tax here taken away from the money he made from his capital gain. So $1,410 is his capital gain. Take away $420.03 gives you a grand after-tax return of $980.07, which is pretty cool. Now the last part of the question is one that says, if George waited another 3 months, how much better would he have been off? Well, if he waited for that, the discount rule would have applied, which means that he only pays tax on half the gain. Okay, so that means that he'd divide his tax bill by 2. So if we just grab 420.3 and divide it by 2, we get about $210 and 1 or 2 cents. So I'll put down 1 cent there. So that's how much he would have saved. He would be better off by $210. The last bit, of course, is one of those interpretations kind of reasonableness questions. And it says, what's the assumption being made? Well, we're assuming one thing, that the share price will remain the same. That's the big thing. This is 3 months later, so we're hoping that the share price will stay the same. And is it reasonable or not reasonable? Well, look at this. I'd say, yes, it is reasonable because of the fact that how much the shares have gone up in those 10 months. So they've actually gone up quite a lot, which means that it puts it in really good stead to hold that price there. So I do think that they would hold there, and that means you could use this as a general rule that you'd save $210 and you'd be far better off by hanging on for the next couple of months. Of course, if the share price dropped, you could bail out really quickly and kind of cut your losses. Okay, that's the end of the shares paper. I would go through that again, write your cheat sheet of notes, go through the other questions you've had, and make sure you know what's going on in ready for the exam.